Maraming salamat kasamang UN. Akala ko kakanta si UN. Kaya sabi ko, teka, mahaba ang mga pahayag ng mga kasama. Kaya si UN naman. Pero isang maikling tula pala na kanyang sariling komposisyon. Kaya maraming salamat. Ngayon naman po, ituloy natin ang mga pahayag. Nais kong tawagan ang tagapagsalita mula sa PLM, ang Partido, Lakas ng Masa, si kasamang Sonny, Melencio.
I would like to start with a quotation. Actually, there was this quotation in the video, and it was from Bertolt Brecht. But I think thinking about it, it's better to use the quotation, the tribute that was given by Friedrich Engels to Karl Marx, because it's more fitting. And it says, "Fighting was his element, and he fought with a passion, a tenacity, and a success such as few could rival. For above all else, he was a revolutionary." That was Karl Marx, that was Engels to Karl Marx, but I think if Che were alive, that would be his tribute to Fidel Castro. This sums up what I think about Comrade Fidel. Many has been said in tribute to Fidel, the revolutionary Fidel, the internationalist Fidel, the profound thinker and prolific writer Fidel, the rightful successor of Martí and Bolivar, the great revolutionary socialist after Marx, Lenin, Maoist, Ho Chi Minh, and other great leaders. I will not try to repeat what has been said in this gathering, but I will want to focus on some aspects of his leadership and persona that have been quite controversial or made controversial by some. There are those even in the left who question the so-called authoritarian rule and human rights violations under Fidel Castro. I don't know exactly where it is coming, but from where I stand right now, I mean here in the Philippines, under a new popular government that has unleashed a war on drugs that killed 6,000 people and still counting, I think Fidel, with whatever so-called excesses and mistakes under his rule, would be considered a saint. When Fidel died, I posted some quotations on my Facebook account to pay honor to him again. He again talked about human rights when he addressed the United Nations General Assembly in 1979. This quote is also enlightening, and this is what he says. There is often talk of human rights, but it is also necessary to talk of the rights of humanity. Why should some people walk barefoot so that others can travel in luxurious cars? Why should some live for 35 years so that others can live for 70 years? Why should some be miserably poor so that others can be hugely rich? I speak on behalf of the children in the world who do not have a piece of bread. I speak on behalf of the sick who have no medicine, of those whose rights to life and human dignity have been denied. So Fidel's notion of human rights is founded on the notion of the primacy of humanity, of the entire community over individual rights that may only be exclusive to a select minority, like the right to own private property. And I think it is important to posit it this way, since socialism is a system that puts people's interest first rather than profits. For instance, of the richest 8 men on earth today who own as much wealth as the poorest 50% of the world population. Oxfam called this inequality grotesque. I call it obscene. Claudio Katz, a professor at the University of Buenos Aires, Argentina, and a member of the Left Economist, said that the capitalist world has always contrasted the so-called Castro dictatorship in Cuba with the so-called marvels of Western democracy, contrasting Cuba's single-party system with their more diverse two-party or multi-party electoral systems. But they avoid mentioning how the electoral college system in the US, for instance, violate majority suffrage as president after president, this time around it's Donald Trump, do not even get the majority votes from the population. The rightists in Latin America endorsed the institutional coup d'etat in Honduras, Paraguay, and Brazil, but waxed indignant over the absence of so-called Republican formalities in Cuba. Some groups have also questioned the restrictions on individual freedoms that have given rise to numerous injustices in Cuba. But according to Katz, if we assess the more than 5 decades that have gone by, what is notable is the almost bloodless nature of all the radical transformations effected. To be sure, there are imperfections in Cuba, and there are limitations to a full-fledged concept of popular democracy as is practiced in Cuba. But it is nowhere comparable to a trapo state or to a plutocracy like the United States or so many Western states. Or if we address the concerns of the left, Cuba has not even experienced the tragedy of the Gulag in the former Soviet Union, or the massacre of its youth and students like the Tiananmen massacre in Beijing. I would like this tribute to end by saying that Fidel lives among the hearts of the international communities in Asia, Africa, and Latin America that benefited so much from his unswerving support and assistance in their social and liberation struggles. His internationalism spans the entire period of his leadership up until his death. Fidel and the Cuban Revolution have contributed so much to the global struggle for justice, social development, and human dignity. The Cuban Revolution can also be appreciated in its contribution to the march towards a more humane society, despite the crippling weight of American blockade and embargo. Cuba has set the keystone for the elimination of absolute poverty, the elimination of homelessness, free public education and universal literacy, and a universal healthcare system that has no equal in the world today. Cubans, all this in the service of humankind. Cuba's defense of sovereignty, as Rehan has mentioned, is not limited to narrow nationalism. Its defense of its sovereignty is its defense of humanity. Paraphrasing the immortal words of Jose Marti, homeland is humanity, humanity is homeland. It is apt to say, Fidel is Cuba, Cuba is humanity is Cuba. Mabuhay si kasamang Fidel! Mabuhay ang Revolusyong Cubano!
Mabuhay! Maraming salamat kasamang Sonny.